Welcome to Watch Symposium. I'm Austin. All right, so let's check out some other brands besides Rolex, Omega, Breitling, Seiko. We'll start out with the Breitling Heritage Chronograph. And the prices, the cheaper prices without tax, the more expensive prices with tax. If you're a tourist, you don't have to pay taxes. Those sharp mesh bracelets look pretty nice. All right, this is a Tudor Black Bay bronze, another Black Bay. That's a Ranger on the right. Some chronographs. All right, one of my favorite Grand Seikos, that's a GMT. A little big for me, but I considered that about a year ago pretty seriously. On the right, another GMT. All right, I think this is a Presage, a pretty obtrusive power reserve. Another Seiko diver. This is an automatic diver. Nice lack of crown guards there. And another Presage. And a Seiko 5. A couple of Seiko Prospex divers. Kind of similar to a James Cameron in the sense that it's got a gradient. And not really my kind of watches. Very accurate Astrons. A Prospex diver. It's got an odd and unsettling dial pattern. It's like a low frequency wave pattern, but looks more like stripes. I do like gradients though. And a pretty, well, it's not for the minimalist, that dial right there. I'll tell you, I mean, that's an accurate watch and will do pretty much everything you want to do. A pretty competitively priced spring drive Grand Seiko chronograph right there. Yeah, that's a GPS Solar Seiko. A really good looking quartz white dialed Grand Seiko right there. I like the 12 and the 6 indices. And this is an automatic, like the blue secondhand. Quite a bit more expensive than the quartz. And you don't see a lot of Credors, but here's one. And not very expensive. Very dated look though. It's a quartz as well. I like the circular date window. We'll see another circular date window in this video. Various Grand Seiko quartz watches with that 9F movement. When you come to Japan, you're probably better off looking for Japanese domestic models, JDM models, if you're looking for something kind of special. Some pretty hideous looking Seikos. Really busy dials. And we'll end our Seiko segment on this Prospex diver on a rubber strap. Some Speedmasters and that white dialed Alaskan pipeline. Yeah, I know that's not what it's called. It's not bad looking at all. I've got a Snoopy Speedmaster right there. Could be collectible. Huge question marks there. If you're a Snoopy fan, why not? Various Speedmasters, chronographs. Interesting red dialed chronograph right there. If you like a little bit of red in your life, that'd be good. Omegas, they're really known for their chronographs. That's got to be a gold watch. Look at the price on that. That's 10 grand. Getting into the Seamasters, which is what I like. I like those rotating bezels. Seamasters with Aquaterras mixed in. Aquaterras generally don't have the rotating bezel. That orange bezeled Seamaster really pops. So Aquaterra right there, to the right is Seamaster. I'm not much for precious metal watches, but I gotta say that black dialed Seamaster is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, really competitively priced too. It's a Aquaterra GMT with a white dial. And getting into some vintage pieces, right in the middle there, that's a Speedmaster Mark II 1970s watch, and very 1970s look to it. On the right is a 1970s dive watch. It looks a lot like a Seamaster 300. That could be a predecessor. Really beautiful watch. Pretty decent price on it too. Love the dial on this watch. Look at the texture. And this is the circular date window that I mentioned before. I really like that Aquaterra. It's a Railmaster right there. Some various chronographs. White dialed chronograph, black dialed GMT to the right, dark blue Seamaster, and a white dialed GMT. Doubling back, we've seen all these pieces before. And check out this Breguet, beautiful Breguet. I like Breguets with metal bracelets. And on the left, that Type 20 is pretty competitively priced. That's a really nice watch. I mean, it doesn't have the name recognition of, say, a Daytona, but among watch people, that's a really respectable watch. All right, and not my thing, but for the Panerai levers, there you go. Well, talk about wrist presence. I gotta admit, it has it. And we'll end on a really polarizing brand, Hublot. Unfortunately, I botched the footage of the Pateks, so no Pateks, but they did have them here. But stay tuned, I've got some footage with Pateks in it. All right, hopefully you enjoyed that. There is life outside of Rolex. I should do this more often. It's kind of nice to talk and look at other watches. And, you know, I think right now might be the time to explore these other brands. I think with the Rolex craze, there could be a lot of wiggle room as far as prices go on brands like Breitling, Omega, and they make a lot of great looking pieces. Now, as far as the pieces we just saw, the few that took my fancy were the Omega Aquaterra with the white dial and the real cool texture. It had the circular date window at the 6. This is a beautiful watch, and I think I like it on dial alone, but you know, typically I like rotating bezels, informational bezels, but I think I could probably make an exception for that watch. A lot of good, competitively priced Omega chronographs, and I think if you're into GMTs, that Grand Seiko GMT, it's not a bad option. I want to say that's a 44, 45 millimeter watch. It's a little too big for me, but you know, at under 8 grand, well, compared at least to a GMT Master 2, it's a viable option. Anyway, let me know what you liked and which would you go for among the handful of watches that we just saw. Stay tuned. I've got some watch footage from other shops, and I kind of like doing these smaller videos. They're a little bit more manageable to watch instead of you know, a 30-minute watch marathon. So take care. Let me know what you think. See you next time.